Good afternoon to you all. One thing I was very sure coming here that I'll have no laptop problems here as I face outside. This talk comes to you from for the preventive health. Actually, it comes from the Madhavbag Institute of Preventive Cardiology called MIPC, because it is affiliated to the MUHS, the Maharashtra University of Health Sciences, and also from the Cardiological Society of India, Pune branch. Why all these people are interested in such talks is because the vision is to reduce the cardiovascular burden of the society from the age group of 30 to 50. So if we start young, and probably in this age group, if we start preventing, it will make a lot of sense, because India needs money to go to the mass rather than spending on health of people and treating heart attacks and ICUs and ventilators. We need money for better purposes. So with the earnest interest of preventing cardiological problems and also overall health, I'm here. And I sincerely request you to listen to the lecture about 45 minutes. I know it's post-lunch session, so it's my real responsibility to keep you awake as well. But even if 10% of you adopt to this, whatever I'm speaking, if you have not already done that, then I would think this would be a successful talk. Today is the Women's Day, actually, and we, of course, salute all the women. And it's not just this kind of a job. Mentally also, they keep doing this kind of hectic activities all through. And what happens really in their life is like this. Only some part of it is seen. We can't move that arrow out. Okay, it's from somewhere else. Okay. So it's like an iceberg. Whatever is seen on the surface is probably just 9/10 of what's happening inside. So all of us should men respect and salute that. And with that, we'll proceed with the further things. Most men in women's life are like this. It's a official prize, so not my job contest. Like this one was hanging out. The painter runs through that, paints outside and goes away. So most men are like that in women's lives as well, actually. And on a lighter note, this is what a dog feels when a man is driving. And this is what happens when the woman is driving. So this is in a lighter note, because I come from a family where there's only one wife and two daughters. So I have to be very careful with what I say. And I say it with utter respect. One more thing I must express to you is there's a lot of awareness related to mammographies and breast cancers among women. But look at what happened. This is the incidence of deaths per annum in thousands. This is the incidence of breast cancer, and this is what happens to cardiovascular illnesses in women. So the awareness related to cardiovascular illnesses probably needs to be 20 times more than awareness related to breast cancer. So it's a real threat even to women's health. And I'm not just going to talk of heart health, I'm going to talk of overall health as well. Look what achievement have been achieved in public health in the 20th century in United States. The total cardiovascular disease is after 1960s has gone down. Disease of the heart gone down. Coronary artery disease gone down. And strokes as in paralysis going down. This kind of activity is possible because of such lectures probably held there 25 years ago. Awareness spread related to lunchtime jogging, related to cholesterol awareness, then related to smoking in public places. All this started there some decades ago, and you see the results of all the aspects going down. Of course, with good medical treatment, the infectious diseases are overcome long time back. Majority of the deaths are related to cardiovascular diseases. And it's heartening to note that in the developed countries, at least, the incidence is going down. It's not so in India. You can see that India urban is here, and we are approaching the summit. So in the next 20 to 25 years, there'll be a pandemic of diabetes, hypertension, heart diseases, and these are all known as lifestyle diseases. As I said, the infections are taken care of by the antibiotics, but lifestyle diseases are creating a havoc and are likely to create a havoc in the next 20 years. So all of us need to be aware related to that. And this is what is happening to the world. Actually, these are aeroplanes. And you can see in the atlas over a 24 hours period how planes move from one place to the other, how world is coming together, how the world is moving fast, and that's why leading to all these problems related to cardiovascular disease and diabetes, hypertension, and lifestyle diseases. Coming to heart disease itself, every time I see this animation, it still gives me goosebumps. I've been in this field for nearly 30 years now. Because the way it is designed, the plumbing system, the electrical system, the mechanical system, the pure blood, the impure blood, all these things, are the way it is designed is just phenomenal. It is much more complex than any computer you know of. If I make a movement like this, 10,000 biochemical reactions have already taken place. It's such a complicated body, and heart is just one organ. I think brain is far more complex, and we need to appreciate that nature has given us this kind of a phenomenal design. We need to take care of it, whether it is heart or the brain or all the organs of the body. Some hard facts about heart are that it weighs only 400 grams and it is the size of the fist of each one. It pumps 5 liters of blood per minute, so it is 70 times a minute, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 year, and in a span of 75 years of life, so many times is it pumping, contracting and relaxing. And in a span of 100 years, that's the figure that comes off. Obviously in the calculators, you can't make out what it is. So if this is the activity that the heart is supposed to do, then the heart muscle needs to be indefatigable. There is no fatigue to the muscle, it keeps on going relentlessly. And that's why it's our moral duty to look after it very well, because it's doing a great job for all of us. And it can be mended, like the heart attack, you can have an angioplasty, you can fix things, you can change valves, you can transplant, you can do so many things related to the heart. But the best way is, of course, to prevent, to use a cliche. Preventive aspects are much better than the curative aspects. The hospitals are now getting like 7-star hotels, and so are the rates also getting 7-star related to the treatment offered in the hospitals. You have robotic surgeries. There's a robo who's performing surgeries like bypass surgeries. The advances are already taken place, even in India. And all of us probably would be wearing a vest like this in the years to come. And this vest has a lot of sensors, whether it is blood sugar, the sodium, the potassium, all this will be sensed online 24 hours. And somebody or the computer itself will giving a signal that the glucose is going down, something's happening, heart rate is going down. All these signals will keep coming. This is the era that we are entering in the next few decades maybe. And this is how medical science is progressing. But on one side, we have all this progress, and other side is remarkable realities of India especially. But one thing remarkable of India is that whatever is the poverty, whatever is the filth around, this man knows how to take a bath. Each one is taught so well by the mother or the father that a bath is a must. If you ask somebody, did you take a bath today? 99 out of 100 times the answer would be yes. So the external cleanliness is so much harped upon. We are all bent on so much external cleanliness, but we never look at health as the internal cleanliness. And as I said, my earnest request to you to look at all these aspects as internal cleanliness. Probably it is much more important than taking a bath, because you can do away with a bath for some days, but internal cleanliness is a work in progress and it's a 24/7 job. Who likes the dentist to be drilling in your teeth? Nobody likes it. It's one of the most painful aspects of life. So if you look at these pains, the 3 most painful events are a toothache, labor, and heart attack. The most painful 3 things known to human beings. A toothache will take away about 3 days of your professional work. A pregnancy might take away about 3 months of your professional work. But once a heart attack or a brain attack or a major organ gets affected, probably it will haunt you throughout your life. So in order to prevent that, in order to be free of this, at this age, from a very young age, you have to start preventing and working on your health. Few things related to the risk factors which can affect the overall health. As age advances, there are bound to be some problems. Men usually suffer more related to cardiovascular disease. If there is a family history, there is a bigger chance, not a 100% chance of getting something. And of course, fast life, diabetes, high blood pressure, nicotine in any form, sedentary lifestyle, obesity, high cholesterol levels, high mental stress, and a perfectionist achieving type A type of personality. A combination of all this leads to a heart attack or cardiovascular diseases. So it's important to allow yourself some mistakes and allow others to make some mistakes in order to lead a better life. All of us know that, but we need to be all somewhere down in the society. We are all made to be type A personality. We want to be achievers. We want to be successful, but there is a price to pay for that. Now, some newer problems in the society. Diabetes is known, blood pressure is known, but childhood obesity is a real problem these days. I can show you some more pictures of vitamin B12 deficiency. You can see all the knuckles and they are pigmented. They become black when there is B12 deficiency. And B12 leads to straight heart attacks. Young age heart attacks, majority of them are just simple B12 deficiency, which comes from animal sources. So those who are vegetarians need to take some animal source like milk or paneer or things like that, or check your B12 and take a tablet. I think probably that's easier to do. Vitamin D deficiency can lead to problems. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., how many of us can get exposed 20 minutes to the sunlight? Very few of us. Only those who work on the in the farms, probably they are exposed to. So we are all vitamin D deficient. These simple things creep on. They keep happening over a period of years, and one day they come up with cardiovascular problems. Pollution is identified as one of the risk factors for cardiovascular diseases, and you are close to Null Stop, which is the most polluted spot in the city today. Bad gums can cause problems related to heart, and these are the parameters that we need to achieve as healthy people. You know how a car is functioning, then there are certain parameters, a machine functioning, some parameters. For health, you need to have a BMI which is less than 24, blood pressure less than 140/90, fasting sugars, well-controlled diabetes, cholesterol levels, B12 levels, vitamin D levels. All these, if they are maintained very well, then you are likely to have a reasonably good health. Accidents can happen beyond that, but your chances of getting into problem are less if you maintain these kind of parameters for your health. And they can be checked every 3 years. Nowadays, I see there are executive checkups in companies every year, which is too much. I think it should be every 3 years if everything is normal. And it should be more relaxed than what is being done right now, actually. And how to achieve these parameters? It should be absolutely, let's say, non-emotional job. Like a cat would get the rat, whichever way. It has to run fast, it will do that. It will sit in one place, do that. But it's a natural instinct to get food. Similarly, it should be a natural instinct to get health. And related to that, whatever needs to be done without any effort, without feeling the burden of it. And that's why it is called lifestyle modification. These things should come into your life as if you take a bath every day, you go to office every day, you drive a car. That time also it's all reflex activity. So diet, exercise, and so many other things should be just a part of your day-to-day life rather than a doctor's prescription. So how to remember this is the acronym of ABCDEFGH of healthy life. A for anxiety or stress management. The body type will look at the addictions, the diet, exercise, friends, guru or God. H is sense of humor, and I is health insurance. So if you look at life or health in these parameters, probably you will end up getting reasonably good health. We are on A for anxiety, and we see that everyone is running. I don't know where everyone is running, but there is a 1.5-year kid is put into kindergarten, then play school, then comes the kindergarten, the 5th standard, 10th standard, the admission, the exams, the marriages, and then managing grandchildren in USA is how the progress thing is. Continuously this goes on. It's sometimes nice to use cliches that life is not a destination, it's a journey. So you enjoy the journey rather than trying to reach somewhere, but everyone is running and life is exceptionally fast. What is fast life? Fast life is number of decisions made per day. So every phone call, every mail, every WhatsApp message, all these are decisions made. So you can think of how much brain has been taxed now, and it is taking many more decisions as compared to what it was a decade ago. Rumination is a word you must remember. It is a definite sign of biggest predictor of mental health problems. Rumination is dwelling in the past. Now it has happened, whatever has to happen, the market has crashed. It's a past tense, but then if you ruminate into it, thinking of the past all the time, probably it will lead to mental health. And there is usually such people also have a self-blame game in that also, and that adds to mental stress and depression and other things. See, this fish is caught by the kite. And if you tell the fish, don't worry, be happy, it's pointless. Like most of the stress management techniques end up doing be happy, be positive. I think it's not correct to say that, because if you are caught like the fish, you want some other advice. And the advice should be live that emotion. If you feel like crying, please cry. If you feel like laughing, please laugh. If you are angry, show your anger, express your anger. And if you start living that emotion 100% over a period of time, then you will achieve tranquility. Then you won't be boisterous in your responses. Your responses will also get tailored off. That is what we need to achieve rather than saying, don't worry, be happy. Not a correct way to do it, actually. So how to manage stress? I have made an acronym again. Strength as in physical strength, good physical health. T is time management, relationship, exist in now, that is live in the present tense, take the baby steps of today, financial security, and good social support from friends, family, and other things. So if you manage this kind of a stress, probably your stress management ends up getting better. See, all of us are time challenged. The ant is carrying so much of a burden, but all of us are time managed, time challenged. So it's my arithmetic of time management. Let's see if you like it or not. It's 10 hours of work every day, professional work. 9 to 7 is quite a time actually. Most of the days if you work 9 to 7, probably you are a workaholic. And workaholic is a bad word derived from work, as an alcoholic derived from alcohol. So if you are a workaholic, it's a bad word, remember that. And don't glorify the word workaholic. So these claps are for the bosses, I think. So working smart, of course, is the thing to do. And 2 hours of commuting, getting ready, talking on the phone, maybe social media time. 7 hours of rest at night, 1 hour of afternoon break, 1 hour for exercise, family and friends, 1 hour of hobby time makes it 23 hours. So there is still 1 hour remaining every day. So if you make a capsule of 2 weeks, you have 2 Sundays off. So suddenly you have 20 hours of free time. You don't go to your family and friends every day. So in 2 weeks, you will have 5 to 6 hours free time. And you find out like this, there is enough time to do everything in life, provided you are time managed. Okay, we are all time challenged, but if we are time managed, probably your stress levels can be remarkably low. One thing about relationship is your exterior and interior needs to be absolutely very, very close. If there is too much of a gap between the exterior and the interior, the relationships suffer. And that's why honesty and, of course, respect will make a difference. Third thing about the stress management was living in the present tense or exists for now. Children do that. Actually, children fight and then within half an hour they're back to play it and do things normally. So these 3 children have by birth holes in their heart, and they are supposed to undergo an open heart surgery after half an hour. But the photographer, that is me, tells them a joke or a story, and they come off with absolutely natural smiles. They are least bothered about what's going to happen after 30 minutes. Can an adult do it? Impossible. Even in a dentist OPD, we cannot smile. Forget about a cardiology OPD. So I think the idea is to train ourselves to live in the present moment. Like what you are doing now is, suppose be here right now. After going out from here, whether there is a bomb scare or something going to happen, you have no control on it at all. All that you can control is now. And you can read books like Eric Tolle's book of Living in the Now. Everything is now, or Osho's books on here and now. I think it will make a huge difference to your way of looking at life. And that's why meditation does that. It trains your mind to live in the present tense. Whichever way it is, it might be classical music, it might be a hobby, anything that makes you lose in that moment is meditation. Classical meditation, of course, is a way of doing it, but otherwise also you can do simple tasks. It improves peaceful alpha waves in the brain, reduces the heart rate, reduces blood pressure, and of course it improves your stress management techniques. But this is the fate of meditation in today's world. For past life reading, there will be a big line, and the future telling, there will be a big line. But for meditation, present moment, there is no one. So this is what we are doing all the time, living, ruminating, or trying to figure out what's going to be in the future. Hobbies, phenomenal way of doing it. Hobbies can be like this. You don't have to do all this actually. But I realized that to get the shot that way, that was the only way to do it. If you really look at that photograph, the angle that she gets for this camera or for this photo is the only way to do it. That you don't have to be that passionate or that risky. Simple things like this is my own, I have taken it from my cell phone where the car was moving at 120 kilometers per hour. So it's possible to take very simple things around and just be involved in that, whatever you are doing. This is for, I said, financial security. You know, if Vijay Mallya had used these as his models, probably he wouldn't have had problems, so many problems that he is facing. Actually, these are the best models he can think of, isn't it? Rather than the models that he thought of and the most expensive show that went on. Then comes the S of social security. You know, this is one of the best photographs I have with me. Is a traditional Muslim couple taking their son to school dressed as Sri Krishna for a fancy dress parade, maybe. But this kind of, all these intolerance and tolerances things that are going on, rather than if we lead a peaceful life, probably all of us would lead a stress-free life. From stress management, we come to B of body. Actually, I could have shown a Priyanka Chopra or a Bipasha Basu, but these days everything is changed. Tastes also have changed. And six-packs are in fashion, so I thought I would show a male body instead. And for that body types, if you want to know, this is a Nigerian or Ethiopian marathon runner. After 42 kilometers run, this is how he is exhausted, but happy, relieved that he's won and he's finished the race. And this is our Indian counterpart. So the big difference between them is the waistline. And this central obesity is a part of our problem. Central obesity leads to diabetes, high triglycerides, and many other problems related to health. So if you have this kind of a phenotype, that is a body, try to change it. And if you don't have it, prevent it from happening. It's not just bad looking, but the fat gets onto the pancreas, and that pancreas leads to diabetes and so many other things which follow. This was 1980, size of the computer, size of the man. 2013, size of the computer, size of the man. These things have happened right in front of you, and such things probably finally lead to problems. Then we come to C, cigarette or addictions. Nicotine actually gets into the system. It kind of burns or irritates the coronary arteries from inside. The inner lining of the artery called intima gets irritated, and then cholesterol starts getting deposited. So chronic smoking will lead to blockages in the coronaries, in the brain, and everywhere in the body. It's all common knowledge, so I won't spend too much time on it. But the social aspect of smoking is, Nicotine gets into your system as addiction between the age group of 13 and 18. So children at home, boys and girls, neighborhoods, societies, we have to be watchful. And if we can control tobacco consumption at that level, probably we'll do justice to the society. As parents or as adults, we got to be very careful about our addictions and what we do. This smart man thinks that he's okay with the smoking in front, or the child is not looking at him. But when the child goes home, this is what it does. So we have to be careful, and we have the responsibilities of behavior. Now, these are the types of bottles that we get in our lives. Childhood, we start with this bottle. Teenage, we start this bottle. The first hostel night or the first job probably leads to this. Then the liver starts playing up. Then everybody starts drinking Bisleri water. And in the ICU, there is saline bottle. And finally, the candle lights one day. Actually, this is how the progress takes place. So amongst the alcoholism, suppose alcohol probably may not be as bad, but alcoholism is bad. As I said, workaholic is bad, alcoholic is bad. So chronicity is a problem. Do you allow a child to put a finger into the electric plug? No, the answer is no. Similarly, chronic alcoholism, chronic smoking, it's a complete no. It's an electric plug of your life. At whatever age you are, if you put a finger in it, it's going to burn or it's going to give you a shock. It's very common knowledge, and we need to promote it to each other this way. If your friend is getting into some addiction, probably it's your responsibility to see him or see her out of it. Then comes the D for diet, which is predominant principles should be predominantly vegetarian, fat-free and carbohydrate-free. Indian problem is sweets, sugars, jaggeries, honeys, everything is a problem. So whatever is fattening is usually sweet to the tongue. So fat-free and carbohydrate-free. 1 liter of oil per person per month. That is how the consumption of oil should be. What oil you use will lead to a small benefit after that. But if you reduce the quantity to 1 liter per person per month, it will make a lot of difference. Predominantly raw or uncooked food. Then eat for the body, not for the tongue. We exactly know what is the item for the tongue, what is the item which is made for the body. And we maintain a 90-10 ratio. That is, we eat 3 times a day. That is 100 times in a month. So out of these 100, 90 times you should eat for your body. 10 times you allow your tongue to have a good time. And that way you will balance out very well, and you would overdo it and your health would be better. It should be a sanskar in the family. But sanskar is a funny thing. The 3 of us are very particular about diet. The 4th member is not at all particular. So that can happen with the same kind of upbringing. Way of eating is morning should be or noon should be the bigger meals. Afternoon and evening should be the smallest meals. If you do that and invert the pyramid of your eating, then your body types are going to be like this. Smaller breakfast and bigger dinner, this kind of central obesity. Bigger breakfast, smaller dinner, this kind of a figure. So if your pattern of eating is different, change it for the whole family, including children. Because what we eat at night gets stored in the body because it's not spent during sleep. And that's why it gets stored in the central part of the body. Having a slow heart rate leads to much better health. Basic pulse rate. Suppose somebody is sitting in one place and his pulse is 70, he's better off than somebody's pulse is 90. So having a slower heart rate is definitely helping you for a better heart. And of course, it will help you to, we'll just go by the respiratory rate as well, breathing rates. A dog breathes 60 times a minute. Dog's life is what? 15 years. Horse would be about 30 times in a minute. Horse's life would be 30 years. Elephant breathes 20 times a minute and lives for about 120 years. A giant turtle breathes 2 to 3 times a minute and lives for maybe 2 centuries or something. So slower is your breathing rate, life is going to be longer. And a man breathes 15 times a minute. That means actually is supposed to live for 125 years. But our life expectancy is 65 because of the lifestyle disease, because of the way we started living. We started going away from nature. We started putting too many artificial things into it. And that's why you have a smaller life expectancy. So start going closer to the nature, start breathing lesser, and probably you will have a, one way of improving your breathing time and your effort is, of course, doing correct exercise. 150 minutes per week is what is expected of you. 30 minutes, 5 sessions, not difficult at all. We saw how time managed we should be, and we should be able to do this exercise very well. A very fit man like Dhoni also exercises because he has to remain fit. So all of us who are not into fitness should take up exercise separately because it improves cardiovascular efficiency, improves muscle tone, prevents osteoporosis, that is bone brittleness. It improves sense of well-being, improves stress management, improves collaterals to the heart, and improves length of life. And if you don't like all this, at least for this, keep exercising and you will do yourself justice. And these new gadgets of number of steps, they help a lot to promote yourself. Like you walk 10,000 steps today, you feel motivated to walk more or do something better next day. Sex actually has an exceptionally important role to play. Sex as in orgasms is very, very important for a human body and mind because it releases oxytocin and endorphin in the brain, and it has excellent effects on the entire body. It is an emotional catharsis. It is like one sexual act is like running full speed on the treadmill for 20 minutes, burning 150 kilocalories in then one act. There is no other exercise which is as powerful and probably as pleasurable as that. And it is natural, of course, you don't have to go to the gym to do that. So you have to look at sex in a very positive way. And if you are fond of it or if you have not heard of it, Chalishi Nantar Se Kamajivan is a lecture which appears so many times. You must listen to that. It can be an eye-opener for you. Personally, I feel for the whole world we should teach something from India, that is through Ayurveda. There must be something which, because Ayurveda has lasted for more than 2,000 years. It has lasted the test of time. So there has to be some substance and we need to tap it some way and teach to the world. It could be just simple things like yoga, pranayama or something. We take it to the world and export that particular idea to the world of preventive health. And one day, probably if you are successful, even Obama might start looking like this. Adequate rest is exceptionally important. I said 1 hour of break in the noon. I don't think it's possible in the office hours, but how to adjust that break, where to take that break is, I leave it to you. Then we come to F for friends. I think 2 celebrities, but they can remain friends or remain married for a long time because of the obvious things like respect for each other, not hurting each other. These things go on. And these are very well known. So it's really not a forum to discuss this, but relationships become exceptionally important in day-to-day health. And relationships are like this. What we see is under a microscope, if you look at a water drop, you will see all these Brownian movements. The small little touch that happens is a relationship. So you respect that touch, respect what comes your way, and probably you lead it won't be a chaos, you would lead a better life. G for Guru or God, exceptionally important because it gives you a bigger picture of life. It's nothing to do with religion or God, but it gives you a different way of looking at life. And if you look at whether the girl is sitting and the boy is standing, or the boy is sitting and the girl is standing, you will take some time to decipher that. Truth is only one, but actually there are 2 ways of looking at it. Similar things happen into day-to-day fights. Similar things happen to tolerance, what is nationality, what is patriotism. There are different ways of looking at it, but truth is only one. But if you realize this, probably you are a happier person. And for H, as sense of humor, you don't have to read all the time the forwards on the WhatsApp. There could be so many other ways of humor, understanding humor, thinking of humor, or it's like this, maybe it's your office and it's your family or it's somewhere else you are going. All this is happening around us, but a little picture away from it, it makes a beautiful picture. So humor is around us. Like there is song in this hall right now, but a transistor will catch it and you will be able to hear it. Similarly, humor is just around us. All that we have to have is antenna to catch it, and probably you can be a person with an excellent sense of humor. Forward. Health insurance, all should have a health insurance, very big one actually. The health insurance should be to the tune of 1-bedroom flat, whatever is required, because one ICU stay of 10 days could run in lakhs, whatever is the illness. So one should be prepared for it. We should have a health budget, all of us, and of course a health ID in our mobile phone should be complete with all the medical information. Last few slides related to lifestyle. Who is older of the two? Somebody who's 38, works 9 to 10 or whatever, 22 hours a day, smokes, no exercise, eats vada pav at 2 a.m. in the morning. And the late B.K. Iyengar, who led a very sattvic way of life and other things which followed with it. And we did there, he's 38, he was 88 when this slide was made. And we looked at their carotid arteries. And you do a sonography of that, and it gives you age of the artery. So this is what it looked like. The carotid arteries, both of them. This layer is very thick here, and this layer is very thin here. And based on this vascular age, actually their ages are exactly reverse. So much is the difference of a good lifestyle. I don't think any one of us can become like BKS, but we can be somewhere middle, like whatever is my age, let my artery look like that. And that is done by simple things like the ABCDEFG that we are looking at. And finally, attitude is everything in life. A pessimist feels that the glass is half empty. An optimist feels that the glass is half full. These two everyone knows actually. But look at this spiritualist. He feels ye beer hai nahi, maya hai maya, he says. And realist is the person who finishes it, whether it is maya, half full, half empty, doesn't matter. So that kind of ground reality about everything in life, maybe it health, maybe other aspect, whether it is money, whether it is ego, if you are grounded and if you are a realist, then probably you can enjoy the nectar of life very well. A book I must recommend to you at this age to read, written by a nurse from Australia. It says Inspiration and Chai, because she had many Indian patients. She was managing very old people who are almost dying. And finally, she wrote a book on top 5 regrets of life. And I got those top 5 regrets for you. And they are, I wish I had let myself be happier. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. And I wish I had looked after myself better. Simple things which has come out of a huge experience of hundreds of patients. Finally, at the end of the life, they are giving you this teaching that these are the 5 topmost regrets. So you are now can work on this and let it not be a regret in your life. You can work on it positively. So these are the types of health, whether it is physical, mental, material, social, spiritual, how to get them all into your life. It is called the wheel of life. For example, you draw a circle and draw from the center a spoke like this for personally. Are you happy with yourself personally? Then there could be a social wheel. Then you give yourself points. If you are not doing too much social work, you will give yourself 5 points. This is 0, this is 10. Financially, you are earning well, so you will give yourself 8 points. Professionally happy, intellectually happy, not looking after oneself very well, spiritually okay, relationship management is good, not much of creativity, adequate rest is not there, and consistency is good. So if somebody connects all the dots, this becomes the shape of the wheel of life. If somebody has a wheel like this to his car, how will the ride be? A very bumpy ride, isn't it? It will be too many corners. So your wheel of life should be a circle, as circular as possible, and as fuller as possible. Because if you have a very small circle, there will be no momentum in life. So if you want to have good moment and good healthy life, all this should be a fuller and circular circle. Then probably your wheel of life will be great. So we look at some stress management points, body types, the addictions, the diet, exercise, friends, guru or God, humor and insurance, all these aspects we covered. And it is following this is like driving from Pune to Mumbai. You are on the express highway and you have these two middle lanes. Idea is to drive in the middle lane at a speed of 80, 90, 80, 90, above average and little. Whenever you have an opportunity, overtake and come back to the middle lane. And whenever you want to stop, go to the slow lane. That is how we drive. And our success of reaching Mumbai is very good if we follow all this. Health is like this. ABCD, EFGH is like this. Whether it is physical health, mental health, material, is all like this. What I keep thinking is, it is a relentless activity. Like you are driving, you cannot go to sleep while you are driving. It is a relentless act. Things of the past matter because you have to keep on looking at the mirror and learn from the past. You are ensure that all controls are okay. Your goal is a byproduct. Like if you keep doing this, then you will reach Mumbai. It's not necessarily a thing that you keep on driving for. And key to success is moderation. You do things very well. Have a fuller circle, 7-8, 7-8, 7-8 in all aspects of life. You will have a physical health, material health, social health, spiritual health, all kinds of health will come your way. And I feel the MINDC, NUSSCSI, which is your attitude of health top. But if you put health as a top priority, then everything else probably will fall in place. Probably all of us are concentrating too much on the material health or professional health. The other aspects of health, if they come into probably, it will spur your professional career as well, and you will have better material health as well. Thank you very much.